Hello, governors. How's everybody doing on this fine day? Hopefully you're doing great. I myself, I usually am trying to do great. It doesn't always work out that way, but my body has a tension to tell me how to do things that I want to do, but not always can do the same way that I hope to do them. So hopefully anybody that's combating that is getting over that. So one of the things that I'm really enjoying about my new 4Runner, which I'm in today, is my new Rubigrid that I've added. Obviously, I've had this on 2 other vehicles. I really like the bullet point mount stuff. And it's a little bit different for the 4Runner just because there's not a space per se. So what they've done is they've created a space through making an addition that's a little more pronounced exterior to the vehicle than what my Titan XD or my F250 Tremor was. With that, I'm pretty happy. It gives you a lot of space. It is a little bit bulky, especially in a smaller vehicle. A smaller interior, I guess, dash to the top of the windshield. It's a little bit smaller, but as far as my fit, I've got plenty of space. Actually, with the seat all the way back, I have a hard time reaching the pedals, which is very odd because at 6'4", that was never an issue with my F250 nor my XD. So that being said, I do like the space in it, and that still leaves a little bit of space in the back, obviously, I'm in right now. So that being said, let's take. All right, I do have RAM accessories on this Rubigrid just because number one, my phone is ginormous, and the one that comes with it for my phone, it just kind of sneaks out a little bit. It doesn't really hold on to it tight. And I'm going to tell you, if you've never used this phone holder, this thing is freaking phenomenal. I'm absolutely in love with this thing. I wish I would have known about it for my side-by-side and any off-road stuff before that, even the motorcycle, because it is just amazing. I'm certainly going to get another one because I don't like transferring stuff back and forth between vehicles, but I'll get another one for the Vanderhaul. But I absolutely just adore this thing, man. It is solid. It extends, gives you space, well thought out space on either side for where you mount your cameras, so that's nice. And then of course you adjust these depending on how your phone is, and it's screwed in back, so it tightens right up to it. Super nice. Obviously we've got the bullet point mounting systems arm here with the carbon fiber, sorry, and then the RAM shorty, which has a active camera for either my what am I trying to say here? I am going brain dead. I'm an idiot. Big dumb animal, people, watch out. Either for my action cam or my standard HD cam, which it fits both. It just screws off the action cam and then slides on there. So that way I can do front, back. I do also have security cam and / road cam, but it's not installed in this yet, so I've got to hook that up. I've got one for front and back, which will go in this. That way I get cameras front and back for not only off-roading and whatnot, but also just for safety in case there's some kind of accident or whatever. We can help others or help ourselves. Sorry about the flicker. Let me get that. I guess that's not going to work. Don't know. All right, well, you're going to have to suffer the flicker, so my apologies. So anyways, yeah, this thing is great. Gives you a lot of adjustments. I've got it all the way over here just so you can see me better. Keeps the passengers out, per se. Doesn't allow them to be seen. A lot of people don't want to be seen, which is fine. But with that, again, plenty of space for what I need it for. And I can add the action cam. Most of the things that I do use are readily available for any type of connection, so that's cool. But yeah, so it had to be screwed in both sides and on top. So we got these little inserts, these little rubberized inserts for all these places that I didn't expect some of it to be in here, but if you look around in the car, and all these things with a little red on them because it actually goes with the stitching in the vehicle itself. It's kind of nice just because if anybody uses some of these things to put places, or any of these places to put things in, I cannot stand rattles, man. It just drives me bonkers. So the fact that they have these for every space in your vehicle, there's actually one I cannot figure out, so no biggie. And then of course I bought these extensions, which a lot of people have. These are nice because it does fit, ends up being able to fit my phone or whatever in there. So that's kind of cool. I got some kind of cleaner or wheel dressing or something down here right now. But yeah, they are in everything. So that's kind of nice, even on the interior. Sorry, I know things are a mess, but of course I added this little jobby here. It's a nice little tray, but it even had it for those. So down inside there, just had a couple of things. It's a rag for wiping things down, a battery to take with me wherever, and then you know, stuff. So that being said, it's just nice because you don't have to hear those rattles with stuff in the back. People leave it in their wallet, especially with the oh, my apologies, with the metal on my wallet. It's kind of nice just because it doesn't rattle. So that's pretty cool. I'm a big fan of those. If you haven't added those, also I'm sure somebody's going to ask, but we do have the Victory 4x4 Molly panels down here. So a lot of space on these things, man. It's pretty big. Down here you can see it's slanted. So if there's anything that you want that could possibly go here, you have that to go there. So it's kind of on both sides. That connects right into it. It's a pretty good system. I did use nuts on the other side, so the screw heads, I just matched up screw heads to find actual machine bolts, and then put those through, and then put screw heads on the back. Kind of a pain in the rump to get in the back, only in the fact that there's not a lot of space to be putting fingers down there, and I apologize for this just being hand shots or whatever. But all this stuff really, it pops off pretty easy. A lot of it's just pressure and clips on the back, so it's kind of nice. But yeah, this thing screwed in there, and it's giving me a little bit of space. One of the other things that I have added as well, this is probably messed up, is this organizer. So this little two-piece jobby here that you slide in there, man, it just organizes everything. I had to go through there this morning just to get my stuff for my permanent plates, but it just makes for these nice little cubbies, these separated cubbies, so everything's just not sitting in there. I got my emergency backup for my medication that I always keep in there, just some wiring, paperwork. I got to go through stuff from Toyota when I first bought it. But very nice. Trust me, man, that thing, it's nice to have in there. It's very nice to have in there. That way you don't have, again, things rattling around in there, but it does organize everything. So if you are, in fact, on the board about considering one of these Rubigrid bullet point mounts, these things are phenomenal. I'm super happy with it. I know this one looks a little sloppy, so I'll figure out a way to better permanently. I think I'm going to run this, get a cord and actually run it permanently behind, then drill a hole in the back, have it come through one of these. This is the speed ports, the $200 option speed ports. Phenomenal. Not, but yeah, if you've got the $45 Samsung cord, man, that thing, you can just plug it into, you know, one of the plugs, whatever. But if you want it up front, it does work. It works pretty speedy, especially on my my S22 Ultra. This thing is certainly a tiny laptop, a phablet, if you will, as they used to call them. This thing takes a lot of juice to run, and boy, it really makes these come to life pretty quick when you're on low. So I can say for a fact that those things are speedy, much more speedy than the other one. This one, of course, gives you direct. Obviously, I'm not plugged in right now, but that gives you CarPlay or whatever. That's why I want to have it done permanently. Have that one actually switched onto the back, or have front and back plugs, so I can have a permanent one for this type of stuff, and then the other. There is one that has some plugs up here. I don't recall the brand, and I'm not trying to hate or anything, but I like the idea of that one. That's kind of nice, just because you wouldn't have the unsightly cord going all the way down here. But it is what it is, and I've really liked these guys, and I had some of the stuff from before, so out of my other vehicles, really liked it. With that being said, of course, again, thank you for joining me today, and we do hope you're doing well. It's been a pretty good spring/summer so far. We had a lot on our plates, got a lot going still. And with that, we hope to get some of these projects and things done. As of right now, we're on hold with some things. We're on the move with some others. Have a son that's coming home on his first leave. And we're going to enjoy his time. So that being said, just trying to get a few things knocked out. But I apologize if I haven't been in touch with some of you folks. I certainly enjoy reaching out to you and in talking to everyone. It helps me get through some of my hardest days, because you all are my counsel. You all are those that I can count on for just about everything that I want. And sorry about the hands. I know I could put it up in there, but right now it's just easier to hold. You are some of my counseling that I can take to heart, and that helps me get through my days. And for that, I appreciate you. So I am hopeful that everybody that tries contacting me, I'm getting right back to. Some of the other things, I'm sorry, we're on hold right now for some art and a few other things that we have projected to do with companies and whatnot. My apologies to that. We will get to them. There's a lot going on financially in the world and elsewhere, as well as there are everything from 2A to world crisis. We got wars going on. People are going away to these things that it's not being announced, it's not being stated. Huge amounts of money from the United States is being poured into these, while we have people that are homeless, hungry, starving, and in dire need here. I can appreciate that we help others. I traveled the United States and worldwide for a large portion of my life in the military as a career, hopefully helping others. Obviously some other things occurred while we help others, but the bigger point in my service was to help others and reach out. And we did, and we made a lot of friends doing so, because a lot of those people understood what we were there for. It wasn't just some of the hate and some of the conclusion that people can conveniently add that have no idea to what we do out there. And there are some veterans out there that didn't like some of the things we did over there, as many of us didn't like a few of the things that went on out there. Some of those things we fought back on while we were downrange, and a lot of people appreciated that. But it also made some contention between the ranks. So that being said, just always remember that when we serve for our own purpose, not always just a purpose of our government. The government doesn't necessarily think the way that we think. And we're not doing it for the people up there, we're doing it for the people out here. And overall, we just don't want some of the things that we've seen worldwide that are not caused by us. These places have been warring for hundreds, some for thousands of years, long before the United States was even an entity, let alone before our service. In any of the branches that we have that are a drop in the bucket in time compared to some of the other nations and societies out there. So I know it sounds fun to rally against the evil, mean United States, that these things wouldn't occur if we wouldn't be sticking our noses in there, but don't believe that for a second. You're either undereducated or miseducated on how things actually are working out there. And if you think these people are loving and forgiving to everything that some of our opponents have been, you're wrong. Some of those people will seek you out and possibly harm or kill you simply for you being opposite to them. They do it to their own. So we saw it. People not even praying the right amount of times per day, even in their own faith, were being executed. So don't get that wrong. But we try to be out there doing the right things, and that's what matters. And in that, we see some of our people are going to be serving in those capacities in other lands, as they've been nonstop. You may not see it, you may not hear about it, but it certainly is occurring out there. And don't for a second think that people aren't out there serving this nation by defending some things that you may not know about, because it's always happening. Let's pray for them. Let's keep our heads up. Let's keep our heads together. I never want any leader for our nations to fail, and I don't want that, because that means my nation fails. I may not like some of the way things are done, just like anything. As we always stated in the military, if you don't like the way something is, put yourself in a position to change that by doing it yourself. Otherwise, complaining about it is only wasting valuable time to this world. that might be easy for some of you to do. I'm not one who likes to waste time on things like that. There's plenty of time to waste, sit back and relax, as most of us should be doing. However, there's always work to be done, and we should be getting after it if it needs to be done. So thank you to everyone who tunes in. Thank you to everybody that contacts me and writes and communicates. I certainly appreciate that, because without any of you, I'm not doing all of the things I'm doing. Clearly, I have my own things that I need to do. But without some of you, I don't get the ideas or the drive or desire or even the instruction to do some of these things, because some of you instill that in me. Some of you help and promote some of the things that I can see in my head, but I can't bring them to fruition because I just don't have that skill or ability like many of you do. So many amazing and talented people out there, and I can appreciate every single one of them. It doesn't matter who you are. There is a place for everybody. That's a long-term thing that we've said in certain communities that I've been part of. But everybody has a place. Don't forget that. Don't minimize anybody's value simply because you don't see the current value in them, or you want to hold somebody accountable to something they've not done and attempt to minimize their value, because that's unfair. Nobody should do that. Everybody is valuable. Everybody's a miracle. We were all brought here for reason and purpose. If you take that away from yourself, then that is something that you're doing that's super unfortunate, because we only get one chance at this. And if you have a belief that's different than that, hey, I appreciate that for what my belief is, and not throwing that out there to oppose anybody, but just for my belief, you only get it once. And we want to do better. I've certainly squandered plenty of time not doing better, and I can't make up for that. What I can do is be better for myself and for those who matter from here forward. So with that, much love, heads up, hands together, and hopefully if you have something on your pan frying, that you get it to come to your nourishment and feed and help you. If not, hit up one of your sisters or brothers, man. Hopefully we can guide you through or walk you through or help you out in any way that we may. We're out here, just as you're out here for us, and I appreciate that. So again, thanks for tuning in. We'll have some more in-depth stuff coming up, but just wanted to say again, if you were on the fence about some of these mounts or whatever, and you're out in your vehicle and plan on being active in either content or just for your own safety, for other safety that you're around, or to build memories and something you can look back on with your family, these Rubigrids are super nice. Again, bolt point mounts. They've done nothing for us. This is no paid ad or otherwise. This comes right out of my pocket. Same with Victory 4x4. I don't have any time on that, but I will be mounting things to it, and we'll see how it holds up. Seems to be good products. They have a lot of great products. As well, working with a company right now, Southern Style Off-Road. And I have not received their product yet, other than the sense of customer service. And I'm going to tell you right now, they are hands down one of the most phenomenal companies in customer service. So whoever is driving that model and whoever demands that type of customer service model from their people for us as customers, kudos to you. What a fantastic job you've done, and we really appreciate that. So they've helped us a lot. A couple other companies trying to work with. I'm not going to comment on them right now. Some have been a little bit hard to get in touch with, and they might make good products, but hopefully their products will take up some of that. But I think when you suffer customer service as a flaw, it minimizes some of what you could be. Neither here nor there. For a lot of people, they're still going to make their bread. They're still going to do what they do, and that's not going to change. We can't take away from anybody that's already achieved, but it drives me nuts that we're the ones that are spending with them, hoping to advertise for them without doing things like this. Just out and about, talking about them, whatever, and they're okay with their product, I guess, being good enough to where they don't have to have good customer service. That's kind of crazy. I'll never understand that, but hey, again, to each their own. They have their way, and they do what they do. So hats off to them. They've made it where we can't, and I certainly am not going to chop them off at the knees pretending that I know better when it's working for them. So good on them. But yeah, we will be getting back to some of these products as we get them, and we'll review them for you guys, the people out there, the boots on the ground, the bread and the butter. Let you know if it's worth the value of what we spend for them or if it's not. That's what it's really all about, is we should be doing a service to ourselves in reviewing a lot of this stuff, just making sure that people only have to spend once. There's people out there that have a lot of money to buy multiple things and test or whatever. Some of us don't. Some of us are on fixed incomes, and there's a lot of companies out there that have been very good about even offering to us without knowing that we review anything. They just hear that we're veterans, that we reach out, and that we do some other stuff for folks. That's super kind. One of the things that I told them is I don't accept free things. I did accept something for free for the first one, or for the first time for this vehicle, and that was a kinetic rope, and I'll be testing that once we get the rest of our gear for this. I'm not going to say good or bad or indifferent, because I haven't been able to. I can tell you holding it and that kind of thing has been, it seems to be a good product, but until you test it, you just never know. I'll never test it at the limits that it has, hopefully. But if I do, hopefully it'll work, and we will share those good things. If they're, I think it's not necessarily budget or cheap, but it's less expensive. So that being said, if it works and it works for the people out there, then we want to get it out into your hands and have the information out there without changing who we are or subjecting you to some pay-to-play type stuff. We don't want to give favoritism just because somebody is giving us stuff. That doesn't matter to me. That's like a payoff. That's a bribe. We don't want any bribes. There's plenty of that going on in the government, and that's unacceptable to me. So great companies out there. Quick shout out to Harrington. They make comps and some other stuff for firearms. Another great company. Amazing customer service. I haven't used their products, but word on the street is that they have a very good product, or they have some very good products, and hopefully we'll be getting some feedback on their stuff as well. But I wanted to give them a quick shout out just because they open arms. I'm just gonna say it as best as I can without going too deep. Is open arms, fantastic customer service, very much down to earth folks, good people. Just speaking to them, man, they give you a different idea about who they are and what they stand for, and for that I appreciate them. So far, hats off to them for sure. Big salute. Again, we'll be getting back with everybody on some of these things. We're really going to start pouring it on once everything is done. Still having to work on the shop, but man, we've got a lot of projects. Once the shop is done, it's going to be totally different. I can start getting people back through for tattoo and art, and I'm slipping on my own art. I need to get back into that, because again, it helps me up here as a disabled vet. You know, some of us have our vices and our hobbies and that kind of thing, and we can be out there helping others and doing some art for people, which we love to do. But when we're not creating the way that we want to, it can be counterproductive to just getting others squared away, and we don't want to do that. We need to be helping ourselves first, because I don't do well for me if I'm not taken care of. So to be better for you, I need to check that person in the mirror first. I know this has been all over the place. Thanks. Oh, big shout out to everybody that was participant to making calls to their representatives, and participant to this getting the pistol brace worked on. More to come with that. It made it through yesterday for the House Joint Resolution 44 yesterday. So Senate, we know it's going to be a different party, but as we know, there's things that come after these steps, and hopefully some of these people that are concerned about some of the things that could be harming them for no reason as law abiders, we want to make sure that those things are squared away by the people who are representing us, the voted politicians that should be our voice, when our voices aren't the ones standing up on those floors. They need to be held to task. They need to be held to task as representatives. If they're not doing as we expect, say something. You can't be an activist if you're not active. So sitting around complaining about it on social media, unacceptable if you're not doing something about it. So make sure you do those things. So again, shout out to everybody that reached out and were doing those things. Shout out to Chad, Guns and Gadgets. amazing guy, does a lot of great work. So thank you to him. Hats off as well. Another salute. But again, I know it's all over the place. I just haven't spoke to you all in a while. I wanted to touch base with you, working on some of these things. And since I was sitting here waiting patiently for something I'm doing right now, I figured I'd just drop a few bars on you guys and say hello. So God bless, take care, and we will see you all out there. Be well.